You'll just embarrass me in front of everyone, my sister hissed, swiping at my arm like I was some bug crawling into her designer photo shoot. My mom? She didn't defend me. She folded her arms, tilted her head like she was assessing a stain on her kitchen floor and said, "You're just not meant for classy events, honey. It's not a crime. Some people just don't have the look." I was holding the gold satin dress I'd bought with my last $200. A dress I'd picked out weeks ago, saving dollar by dollar, skipping lunches at work, skipping weekends with friends. I didn't eat the night I ordered it. Just stared at the place order button and told myself, this is it, this is how you show them you belong. But no. I was being asked not to come. To stay home. Because my sister's influencer party had a certain aesthetic. And apparently I didn't make the cut. My name is Haley. And from wherever you're watching this, stay with me. Have you ever stood in a room you grew up in, surrounded by family, and realized you're the only one who ever had to earn your place? That night I laid the dress on my bed. I didn't cry. Instead I stared at it, at the shimmer that now felt foolish. Like dressing up hope in cheap fabric. I replayed the moment over and over in my head. My mom's voice, "You're not meant for classy events." She'd said it like it was a fact. Like my sister was born worthy and I was just extra. But that was the moment something shifted. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I quietly closed the box that dress came in. And opened another one. A digital one. A file folder I'd been building for months. Screenshots. Emails. Receipts. My sister's brand deals that she swore were exclusive. But I knew better. My mom's little tax secrets. The ones she made me about at family dinners. And a contract. The lease. The one in my name for the party venue she was renting for this classy event. They forgot one thing while mocking me. They forgot who signed all the real paperwork in this family. So I didn't yell. I didn't throw a scene. I just smiled, turned off my phone, and began writing the first line of their downfall. Because I wasn't crashing their party. I was canceling it. And they wouldn't even know it until the cameras were already rolling. The day of the party, the sun came up like it didn't know what was coming. I watched it rise from my apartment window, tea in hand, calm in my chest. It was the first time I hadn't woken up dreading my family's voices in years. No anxiety. Just purpose. My sister Ava had posted a countdown on her story. T-5 hours till the most elegant night of your life. Kiss mark sparkles. Her influencer family was flying in. Models, wannabe reality stars, fake PR managers. She tagged our mom in every other post like they were the Kardashians. What none of them knew was that the venue they'd rented was under my name. Because Ava's credit was trash and mom's legal issues made her ineligible to rent a paperclip. I was their ghostwriter, their silent guarantor. And when it came time to submit IDs and signatures for insurance, I stepped in, again like I always had. Because Haley handles the boring stuff. But this time, boring Haley had teeth. At 9 a.m. I sent the cancellation email. The one that legally terminated the rental. No party. No D-Day. No liquor license. No lighting. And no refunds, per the contract they never read. The venue manager replied, "Understood. We'll begin disassembly." By noon I got a call. My mother. 3 missed ones. Then a text. Haley. Did you cancel the venue? What's going on? This isn't funny. Haley, call me back right now. Then Ava's call came in. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail I will never delete. What the actual hell, Haley? Did you seriously just cancel my party? What is wrong with you? You're jealous. Admit it. You were never gonna fit in with my friends. You're a joke and now everyone knows it. But what she didn't know. Everyone was going to know. Because I also sent every single sponsor a press email. Not from Haley. From a fake PR firm I created, with a spotless website and corporate logo I paid $18 for. It explained the party's sudden cancellation was due to internal ethical concerns regarding Ava's brand. I attached screenshots. Proof of her faking engagement stats, ghostwriting reviews, buying followers. All of it. The email ended with, "We encourage all sponsors to reconsider alignment with a brand that has repeatedly manipulated public trust." And just like that, the mask slipped. 3 sponsors dropped her within the hour. Her manager blocked her. And one influencer with 1 million followers reposted the entire call-out on their story. By 4 p.m. I got the last message that sealed the day's downfall. Your sister's in tears. She locked herself in the bathroom. She hasn't stopped crying. Fix this. Now. I just sipped my tea and looked out the window again. Funny how quiet the world gets when the people who made the most noise finally go silent. That day I wasn't the sister in the background. I was the storm they never saw coming. By nightfall my phone looked like it had survived a war zone. 37 missed calls. 17 voicemails. Texts from relatives I hadn't heard from in years, suddenly, so concerned about the drama. Even my cousin Derek, who once told me to smile more, sent, "What happened? Your mom's losing it." Losing it? She was just getting started. Apparently after Ava locked herself in the bathroom and trashed her own makeup spread, my mother stood in the middle of the empty venue in her sequined blazer, screaming into her phone. Not at the vendors. Not at Ava. At me. And for the first time in my life, I let her scream into silence. I was done playing the scapegoat. Done being the daughter they only remembered when something needed cleaning, fixing, or funding. Who do you think picked up Ava from college when she got dumped by that TikTok boy? Who helped mom write her job applications when she got laid off in 2020? Me. And yet all it took was Ava's snide little line, "She'll just embarrass me," and mom folded like I was a stranger. I replayed her words over and over. "You're just not meant for classy events. Not meant. Not included. Not enough." Well, no. They weren't meant for peace. I wasn't finished. Later that evening I posted something subtle on my private Instagram. Just a photo. Black background. White serif text. I was always the quiet one. Until silence became complicit. No tags. No hashtags. But I knew they'd see it. Because drama always circles back to the source. 10 minutes later a message from Ava. "Ava, what did you do? My followers are dropping. I'm losing brand deals. Fix this." Fix it? I smiled. Clicked reply. Typed only one word. No. Then came the call from mom. Her voice. Not angry this time. It was panicked. Ragged. Haley, your sister's birthday is ruined. People are posting memes. Your aunt just called crying. You're breaking the family apart. I raised you better than this. That last line almost made me laugh. She didn't raise me. She managed me like unpaid labor. Every birthday of mine? Forgotten or rescheduled. Every big moment of Ava's? A parade. I took a breath, held the phone to my ear and said the words I'd practiced for years but never dared speak. You don't get to ask for grace from someone you've never given it to. No more pretending. That night I didn't just burn the bridge. I watched the ashes drift and thought, maybe now something new can grow where the guilt used to live. By morning the headlines weren't just whispers on Instagram. They were viral. Influencers party cancelled after exposure of fake sponsorships. Avas Steele's brand implodes overnight. Family drama to blame? Exclusive. Sister's revenge or ethical reckoning? That last one made me laugh. It wasn't revenge. It was release. I'd spent years swallowing their jabs like communion. Offering forgiveness, offering silence. But silence, I learned, is a leash if you never let it go. No. I was free. Mom tried to shift public sympathy. She went on Facebook Live, tears ready, pearl necklace clasped like it was grief's talisman. "She's my daughter," she sobbed, dabbing non-existent tears. "I love both my girls. I just wish Haley would have come to us instead of doing this." The comments were brutal. "So why'd you let Ava treat her like garbage? You said you love both, but only post Ava. This is giving toxic mom energy." I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. Because I had receipts. Years of texts. Screenshots of Ava mocking me in group chats I was accidentally included in. Bank statements proving I paid for their bills more times than I could count. I uploaded them anonymously to a story leak site. No commentary. No captions. Just facts. People connected the dots fast. Hashtag Justice for Haley started trending on Twitter. Some influencer even made a TikTok breaking down the Avas Steele downfall arc, like it was a Netflix doc. By noon, Ava's manager posted a statement. "Effective immediately, we have severed ties with Avas Steele and will no longer represent her brand. We take authenticity seriously." Then came the email. From Ava herself. Subject line, You win. The body. I don't know what I did to deserve this. You've ruined my life. I hope you're happy. Please take it all down. Please. No apology. No accountability. Just a demand for mercy from the very people who showed me none. So I wrote back. I didn't ruin your life, Ava. You built it on borrowed lies. All I did was let the wind in. And then I blocked her. But the one message I didn't expect came from Dad. The man who left when I was 10. Who only resurfaced when Ava got famous and he wanted a connection. His text said, I'm proud of you. I always knew you were the strong one. I stared at it for a long time. Strange how the man who broke our family was the only one who saw me clearly. Maybe that's the irony of it all. I became their villain the moment I stopped being their doormat. But deep down they always knew. The quiet ones write the loudest endings. Ava didn't show her face online for 2 weeks. Which, in influencer years, might as well be a decade. Her carefully curated image, the girl next door with cheeky captions and iced matcha, had collapsed. No more unboxing videos. No more pouty selfies. Just a silence so loud, even her die-hard followers started asking, where's Ava? Is the drama true? Why isn't she addressing it? Because she couldn't. Everything she had was built on a lie. And I simply lit a match near the foundation. Mom, on the other hand, he pivoted. Hard. Started posting old photos of us together. Me in braces, smiling awkwardly. Captions like, my firstborn. My heartbeat. No one's perfect, but love is forever. People weren't buying it. The top comment under one post was, funny how you never posted her until now. I didn't respond. I just watched. Watched as the family that once made me feel small tried to paint me back into their story. Not as a daughter, but as a scapegoat for their own collapse. Then came the final straw. Aunt Meredith messaged me. She was always Mom's echo. The type who called Ava a star and me the dependable one, like it was some compliment. Haley, sweetheart, your mom is devastated. Ava too. Maybe it's time to fix this. You made your point. My point? Well, I wasn't trying to make a point. I was reclaiming a voice. So I replied, Meredith, I didn't burn bridges. I just stopped rebuilding them while bleeding. If Mom wants peace, she can start by telling the truth. No reply. But I didn't need one. Because while they were spiraling, I had been building. You see, long before Ava's party, I had started my own thing. Quietly. Privately. Little blog. Then a newsletter. Stories. Essays. Raw, vulnerable things about being the overlooked sibling. The designated fixer. The invisible one. And suddenly, people were reading. Thousands. Then tens of thousands. Sponsors reached out. A podcast network offered me a deal. A literary agent asked if I had a memoir in me. I laughed when I read the email. Oh, I had chapters. That's when I realized. All these years they treated me like the backup dancer in their little production. But I was the one carrying the show. Their fame, fragile. It wasn't built on filters and fake friends. It was built on truth. And truth doesn't beg for followers. It earns a following. The first time I walked into that podcast studio, I almost turned around. It wasn't the nerves. It was the ghost of her, Ava, still lingering in the glossy walls and ring lights. She had recorded in studios like these. She had sat in chairs like this, laughing into microphones about haters and authenticity, all while erasing my name from the story. But now, I was the voice they were paying to hear. The producer, Rachel, leaned over with a smile. You good, Haley? I nodded. Then I adjusted the mic. And for the first time in my life, I told the truth out loud. Not a rehearsed version. Not a polite edit. The real truth. About how I raised myself while Mom and Ava chased fame. How I worked 3 jobs while they vacationed in Bali. How I stopped asking to be loved the day I realized I was only loved when I was useful. Rachel sat in stunned silence after I finished recording. Then she whispered, people are going to feel this. And they did. The episode dropped that Thursday. By Saturday it had 1.2 million downloads. I got messages from women I didn't know. You just told my story. I've always been the forgotten daughter. Thank you for saying what I've never had the words for. My voice, the one Mom said was too emotional, the one Ava said would embarrass her friends, was now amplifying millions. And then, Mom called. I stared at the screen. Same number. Same ringtone. But it felt like a different lifetime. This time I picked up. Her voice cracked. Haley, please. Can we talk? I waited. Let silence stretch like a bridge she'd have to crawl across. I messed up, she said. I see that now. Ava does too. I said nothing. You don't understand what it's like to be a single mom with a child in the spotlight, she continued like that excused it all. Everything moved so fast. I didn't mean to hurt you. I cut her off. You didn't just hurt me, I said calmly. You erased me. She started sobbing. Then tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this. I looked out the window. The sky was a soft lavender, like it hadn't decided if it was done storming. You don't get to fix this, Mom. That was the old contract. Me cleaning your messes. Silence. Then, so that's it. I smiled. No. That's the beginning. And I hung up. Because closure doesn't always come with hugs. Sometimes it's a locked door and a new key in your own hand. I didn't seek revenge. I found resurrection. And in that quiet power, they lost control of the narrative. A week later I got a text from Ava. Just 2 words. I'm sorry. No punctuation. No elaboration. Just enough to trigger the kind of ache that sits in the chest like a stone. I stared at it for a long time. It felt unfinished. Like a $1,000 gown with the zipper broken. Like an apology made for show, not soul. I didn't respond. Not because I was bitter. But because I'd spent too many years trying to squeeze myself into her narrative. The reliable sister. The background cheerleader. The moral support. No. I was finally the main character in my own life. My podcast was featured in a top culture magazine. A bookstore in Portland asked me to do a signing. I was booked on a panel titled, The Power of the Overlooked Voice. Mom tried to spin it. Started telling people she always knew Haley had a gift for writing. As if she hadn't once called my blog, just journaling with internet access. But people weren't buying the rewrite. Her comments stayed off. Her Instagram quietly private. I didn't celebrate her downfall. I just stepped back and watched what truth does when you stop covering it with silence. Meanwhile, Ava? He tried a comeback. Released a YouTube video titled What Really Happened? My Side of the Story. But it flopped. The comments were brutal. So you bullied your sister out of her own family? You don't get to be the victim when receipts exist. She turned them off after 2 days. I heard through a mutual that she was in therapy. That she'd lost a brand deal. That she'd asked Mom if they should sue me for defamation. Mom told her flatly, you can't sue someone for telling the truth. That was the first time I laughed out loud in weeks. But here's the twist. I didn't feel satisfied. Not in the way people think revenge feels. I felt lighter. A little lonely even. Because when you've spent your life begging for a seat at a table that was never built for you, walking away isn't just freedom. It's mourning. Mourning the version of you who tried so hard to be loved by people who only saw your use. But every morning I wake up in my tiny studio apartment with my second-hand desk and my post-it covered wall. I smile. Because I am building something from scratch. Something honest. Something no one can take from me. Not even them. And then one night at 1:23 a.m., I got an email from the New York Times. Subject line. We'd love to feature your story. I closed my laptop. Laid back in bed. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a burden. Or a backup. Or a shadow. I felt seen. And I didn't need a spotlight to get there. I didn't tell anyone about the Times article until it was published. I didn't send the link to old classmates, or post it on Facebook where Mom's friends still hovered like suburban spies. I didn't need applause anymore. The headline read, The Forgotten Daughter Who Found Her Voice and Made the World Listen. Underneath it my face. Not airbrushed. Not styled. Just me. No filters. No front. The piece went viral within hours. Not because I was a scandal, but because I was the story so many had lived and never told. Women messaged me from hospitals, from grocery store parking lots, from prison phones. You're telling my life. My sister was the golden one too. I still get Christmas cards addressed only to her. I wish my mom could see what she's lost. And then, Mom called again. I let it ring. Then it rang again. And again. Until finally, my phone buzzed with a voicemail. Her voice was hoarse. like someone dragging herself across broken glass. Haley. I read it. All of it. Long pause. You were right. About everything. And I'm ashamed. I don't deserve to call myself your mother. I stood by the window listening as the city hummed below. I used you, she whispered. I used your silence, your loyalty, your pain. And I dressed it up like sacrifice. Another pause. I won't ask you to forgive me. But I'm proud of you. Even if you never speak to me again. I needed you to know that. I sat there for a long time. Not crying. Not angry. Just still. Because what I'd always wanted wasn't revenge. It was recognition. Not for my resume. But for my existence. That night, I lit a candle in the apartment. No fancy dinner. No celebration. Just a quiet honoring of the girl who once stood with a $200 dress clutched in her hand. Heartbreaking under the weight of her own invisibility. I whispered to her, "You made it." And in that moment, I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Not because they apologized, but because they no longer had the power to define me. Ava's account has been quiet for months now. She's reportedly taking time offline to reflect. I hope she does. I really do. Because I've learned something powerful. When people refuse to see you, you don't shrink. You shine louder. And sometimes, you build an empire out of the very bricks they threw at you. Not to hurt them back, but to finally give yourself a place to stand tall. So to the girl who's always been the afterthought, I see you in this. This is your sign to rewrite everything.